Got to fix that bit there. It's a bit frumpy on the side there.
Looking very, very pink tonight.
8 games, 50 seconds. This is inside 50. Roll the video.
Wait. What's happened to the big build-up, the big pump-up?
Not
Not
anymore.
Ribbing each other before
Not
we start.
anymore, Randy. New look inside 50. More serious. No more pooping around. Roll the video.
It's rivalry round.
No, roll the video.
Can't take this seriously. First game for you tonight, Mr. Serious, is the Bulldogs and the Saints.
That's my new name. Hiccup for the Saints last week, Andy. But all credit to Port Adelaide. They were very good, and they beat the Saints at their own game. They may well have set a trend. No, he's just fixing the football, but we can keep going. He may well have set a trend for how to go about it against the Saints. That said, though, the key to beating the Saints does seem to be wet weather.
Yeah, none of that at Etihad.
Nah, not this week. No doubt about that.
Not many weeks, really.
No, not against the Saints. Never at Etihad, in fact, yeah. The Dogs, they were pushed very early by the Crows, but after they whipped in upper gear, they made pretty light work with the Crows last week. They did miss Boyd early on, though, so that'll be handy to have him back this week, and he's definitely going to be playing against the Saints, we've been told. Dogs haven't beat another sauce.
Rocket.
Dogs haven't beaten the Saints in a regular season round since round 3, 2008, in which they've met 4 times. Saints by an average of 24 points, so they've had the wood over them.
Rewalt's not playing this time, though.
Correct.
You've got to keep that in mind. That's reflected in the betting. The Saints are at 208. You'll get 175 for the Dogs. I like them in a close one.
Yeah, me too, Andy. Should be a banger clash. We'll see how good the Saints really are now without St. Nick, and whether or not the Dogs are going to have the pepper to really trouble the top 4 sides. I've been a little bit shaky to start off the season. Like the Dogs by about 3 goals, and I think Barry Hall might towel up Mr. Zach Dawson this week. Let's head to Amy Stadium, though, Andy, for your match, Battle of Mediocrity.
Yeah, well, it's looking that way, Mitch. And we've heard that Dangerfield is
one of the shining lights he's been.
Yeah, well, he's out for 4 weeks. Can things get any worse for the Crows? The way they played in the first quarter, they were looking a bit better against the Bulldogs last week, but from then on, it was all downhill again.
Yeah, certainly had that famous composure that we, link with the Crows in the first quarter, but it just went missing after quarter time. They went into the huddle, they came out something totally different.
Yeah, their season was on the line. They couldn't even get within 5 goals. I don't know how to put it any other way. I say it every week, but their mid-tier players need to step up.
Yeah, definitely.
They're just not pulling their weight. I like the look on a positive for the Crows of Phil Davis, one of the youngsters down back.
It's been very good.
Looks all right. David Rode, what a comeback last
first
week.
game back.
Absolutely sensational.
Excellent.
You think someone like Riley will probably get him because he was that damaging last week. Seeing as this is rival round, I'm looking forward to a bit old-fashioned, bit of biff.
Bit of biff.
The AFL doesn't like the biff, but I say bring back the biff.
This week. What are the odds this week, Andy?
Porter at 156, Adelaide at 244. We keep saying they'll bounce back. Might be this week for mine.
Yeah, football's a funny game, Andy. Colleague of mine always says it's always results driven. Adelaide colleague of mine.
Who's that?
Chris Culinary. It's just my mate.
Matty Lloyd.
Yeah, not Matty Lloyd. When Adelaide lose, their list is too slow. They're all the same. They're robots. When they're winning, they're disciplined. They're structured. They're measured. It's a funny game. However, I think in the modern game, line breakers are absolutely worth their weight in gold. And fortunately, Adelaide don't have many players breaking the lines. Port will finally get 2 in a row.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Adelaide were the most disappointing team in the comp. Now, 2 sides that nobody would have expected to be 1-4.
Breaks my heart.
The Hawks and the Dons.
Yeah, don't know what sort of game this will be.
A rip snorter.
A rip snorter. That was what I told him to say, but he didn't say it, and it threw me off. Anyway, I thought both of these teams would be vying for a spot in the top 8 at the start of the season, but the only thing I think we've got to look forward to in this game is a bit of old-fashioned rough stuff, Andy. Watch both teams go around on the weekend. Nothing to like about either of them. Now, I've been an outspoken critic on the Hawks for ages, but I did not expect them to be 1-4. The Bombers, on the other hand, well, I expect a little bit out of them. I am a little biased, though. I had them penciled in at 6.
Silly.
I'm revising it. Hawks 13th, Essendon 14th.
13th.
Yeah, that's where I think the Bombers and the Hawks are at, mate. Is Knights under the torch this week? Well, he ought to be. Tell you what, if Essendon don't win 11 games this season, Essendon fans will ask for his head, Andy. Dons are going to miss Remus and Pears massively, especially Pears. He's been really crucial to them off half-back. On that basis alone, I think the Hawks should steal this one.
Yeah, I think they'll go better than stealing it, Mitch. I reckon they'll smash them at least 6, 7 goals.
Fair enough. A game that all of a sudden I'm excited about. Wow. Almost traded Trengrove out of the Supercoach last week. He came out and had a belter. I'll tell you what, he's going to be an absolute player.
Time on the ball.
Dane Beams does not waste the pill at all. What do you think, D's and North, Doc?
Well, these two have been batting way above their 09 averages,
Certainly
which
have.
is fantastic. These are playing really exciting footy at the moment too, running it through the corridor
Love it.
every opportunity.
Number 1 team through the corridor.
I'm joining the Man Crush fan club.
Everybody likes him.
Cole Sylvia.
He's a gun.
Oh.
He's a real Ryan O'Keefe type, absolute pocket rocket. Super coaches, get him in your team. He's about to go up in price next week. I reckon he's going to get you 100 points every week.
Well, that draft is finally starting to look good. Walker, McLean, Cooney, Sylvia, all
definitely.
looking pretty good now. The pressure of the Roos last week was
Loos.
at the Loos. The Roos. They were absolutely intense at the footy last week, which was sensational. The young ruck brigade, mind you, they're going up against Hodge and Roughhead, was working a treat last week. Goldstein and McIntosh are looking really good for the next couple of years. Wells was looking good too, but he's teased us like your sister's hot friend does for many years.
He's silly.
Next week he's on and off like a bride's nightie, really.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Boomer, Harvey and Rawlings are brilliant leaders, but my concern is when they don't play well,
What happens to the Roos?
none of their mates do.
Yeah, especially in those younger teams. The older statesmen, they have to definitely stand up.
Yeah,
Carry the torch.
Trengove and Scully, all class. One thing that the Roos will have to cover is the new forward line structure that seems to be the new black in the AFL.
Ooh.
Or they're all small.
Yeah, they are small.
Petard, Bale, Davey.
Dangerous.
They've been absolutely dangerous. Another one I want to throw out there for you, Mitch. Frawley, all Australians.
It's definitely in the mix right now.
D's don't play Eddie Had as well as the G, though, Mitch.
Well, how do we know, Andy? D's haven't had to play a game with the Eddie Had yet. In fact, they haven't had to leave the G. 7 of their first 8 games at the G. It's ridiculous, I think. This will be a close one for me, Andy.
It is their home ground.
Yeah, but 7 out of 8 games is silly. Close one for me, Andy, and on that basis, like either team under 15 points should pay about $3.30. If you like them straight out, D's $1.75, North $2.08.
Sydney and Brisbane next one at the SCG, Mitcho.
Yeah, well, in round 3, before every man and his dog got all over Sydney Swans, the boys at Inside 50, we were telling you all about it.
And in the office.
Yeah, all the guys out the back, they put this show together every week. We can't thank
Sensational.
enough, guys. I know a lot of time and effort goes into the old Inside 50. Big crew, but a great crew. Tell you
Especially
what.
Chris Baker.
Yeah, Chris Baker, love him. Roosie, why is he quitting coaching at the end of the season, Maisie?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you why, because
Why?
it's $20,000 to get Paul Roos to come and speak at one of your gigs.
20G.
20G to get him to speak at your
$20,000.
father's function or club function or whatever you want to do. Why bother with coaching if you can earn that sort of coin? I said it earlier. Caught the Lions at the G on the weekend, and I'll tell you what, we used to say no Roo, no Saints, no Brown, no Lions. They look slow. They look classless. Favola was only on for a quarter.
Yeah.
And so much is going to depend on those two this season because Black, Power, all that, they've been around for too long. The only genuine upcoming superstar they have in that team is Josh Drummond coming off halfback, and he's fantastic.
Doc has been saying it all year.
Yeah, Doc loves him.
What a boot he's got.
Yeah, great kick. Hits it every time. Now, a little bit of a troubling sign for Brisbane. Not looking that good away from home, Andy. If Brisbane don't finish top 6 this year, they're going to have to play away from home for their lives in the finals, and I don't like their chances. They have 5 goals better at the Gabatoir.
Yeah, that's my line.
Yeah, you are the best, Andy. It's hard to call this one. If Brisbane had dealt with Melbourne, they'd go in raging favourites. But, Sydney in a tight one for me, Andy. Odds?
Yeah, look, the Swans are at 160, Lions 250. I'm going with the Swans as well.
Yeah, good call. Let's talk blockbusters, and this is an absolute corker. Ready to go Blues against a classy pie.